Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Boniface Munzala. I am a director in the State Department for Diaspora Affairs. I am happy to be here. And for me, I would just want to clearly just let you know what we are all about, the State Department for Diaspora Affairs. It's a new department in the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, which is solely focused on the diaspora, Kenyan diaspora, and its welfare and rights. So what we are all about, we are just 1 year and 3 months old. Our business is to look at the Kenyan diaspora and to promote and champion their rights and welfare, first of all. Second is to institute a continuous dialogue with you. We are listening to you and not talking at you. You notice that for a long time, the government was talking to you or at you, but now we are listening to you because we would like to work together and partner together with you. So the mandates that we have is to champion the protection and rights of promotion and promotion of the welfare of interests of Kenyans abroad, promotion of continuous dialogue, that is what we are doing now, and then support Kenyans in the diaspora in harnessing more opportunities for employment and enterprise development. And then we have, in liaison with the other stakeholders, promote the participation of Kenya's diaspora in democratic processes at home. So we are trying to engage the diaspora in terms of how they have a say and a right in Kenya's national development. The other mandate is to develop incentive frameworks for diaspora remittances so that we can have your remittances safe, secure, and in a cheaper manner. Harness diaspora savings to facilitate foreign direct investments. Now, these were the first 6 that we were given when the State Department was formed, because I think we did very, very well. They added us 3 more mandates, and these are the mandates in liaison with the Ministry of Labor, implementation of the labor migration policy, and global labor strategy. This is how we're getting nurses, doctors, all other professions into work placements abroad. In conjunction also with the Ministry of Labor to secure placements of Kenyans abroad. So we are asking you to help us secure Kenyans jobs abroad, wherever you are, and open up trade routes. We're also mainstreaming the Kenyan diaspora into the national development process. So you'll find that progressively people will be voting. You'll be able to vote for your MP, for your senators, for members of government. Because you have that right to vote, then you have a right to speak. And because you have a right to speak, you have a stake in the national development process.
My pleasure and my privilege to be with you this afternoon. I have actually followed the Sacco since its start. I think the first time I met you, you had 30 members. Correct. So it should tell you I've been with you along this journey. I've seen some of your struggles, but I've also seen all your progress. So, hongera. Yeah. Being in this place, in a foreign country, and having to think about what it is that you can do to better both yourself and country is always going to be something that really troubles you. But eventually it is also something that you are happy about if you are able to contribute to your own empowerment, but also able to contribute to your country's development. Now, lots of people go and disappear in foreign countries. There's lots of people around the world from our country who don't really visit or don't do anything with the country. And of course, it's their right to do so. But to have people like yourselves engaged all the time about how your country is doing and how you are investing in that country, I think it's really to be commended. I always say to have a stake means you are invested. To have a stake in Kenya, you need to be invested in Kenya. to have a stake in the UK, you need to be invested here. So I always say you must be invested here in our country of I usually say of exile. This is your home, so you must be invested here. But Kenya is your mother country, so you must be invested there as well. Otherwise, the guys in Kenya would start asking why you talk too much about them when you actually do nothing with them. I always also say that our duty also in the UK is to make sure that our relation with our host country is really strong. So trade, we continue to have a trade surplus. Kenya has a trade surplus against the UK, one of the few countries that continue to have a trade surplus among the big economies. Our tea, as you well know, everyone in 2 cups of tea drunk in the UK is Kenyan. As you know, if you have a Sunday roast, the beans you have are likely from Kenya. And we are working very hard to make sure that the pudding, the dessert, the blueberries, the blackberries will also be from Kenya. These are things that we have delivered in this lifetime. And I think it is something that you can go out and say, if we aim to do something as Kenyans, we can do so. We can do so efficiently, we can do so effectively, and we can do it to the satisfaction of everyone at play.
Let us embrace Stoke Sacco wholeheartedly, for in doing so, we not only secure our own future, but also contribute to the greater good of our community and nation. Together, let us embark on this journey of growth, progress, and prosperity. Together, let us make Stoke Sacco a beacon of hope, resilience, and greatness. I thank you for your attention.
The great honor again to welcome you to this 7th AGM of this great Sacco. It's another year we are meeting in this version to reflect on what transpired in the year 2023 and what exactly we expect in the year 2024. As we celebrate the 7th year of operation, let me summarize some of the key achievements in the last 12 months. Our membership has grown quite steadily and sustainable. We started in 2017 with only 35 members, but as of last year, 2022, we had 317, but in the year 2023, which we are now having our AGM, we had 405 members. As we talk, as we meet today, we are now 440 members. So thank you very much. I thought that was a very sustainable growth. And you may wonder why just only, members came last year. Around 96 members came in last year. Our growth is sustainable. We've taken deliberate steps in terms of we don't want to grow so much faster to the extent that we cannot sustain the growth. This year, as we're going to look into, we have now got the new system, and we'll hear the feedback from you. We've been waiting for this year. We've been waiting for the new system that we have launched the other day. Now we can admit up to even 10,000, Barosi. But if you told me 2 years ago, admit 10,000, I would have said no. But now we have invested in a new system. Kama mnataka ku invite all Kenyans. How many millions we have now? 55 million? 53 million. Yes, the Sacco now can accommodate all those 53 million. In line with the year 2030 vision that we have as a society, the target for 2024 was to grow to 1,000 members, but we did not achieve that, but we stood at 435 members. The board continues to encourage members to refer their friends, refer their family members, so that they can become part of this great society. The target for this year is, of course, as I've said, is 1,000 members. If we can surpass that number, great, because now we have the system that can support those numbers. In terms of savings, and this is where I want you to, if you can clap your hand, you can clap, yes, you can do it. If you can stand and sing hallelujah, you can do so. If you can sing and say, oh, wow, that's great. Our savings grew quite exponentially to the extent the regulator asked, Chairman, I want to invite you to tell us what is the secret that you are growing, you are saving year in, year out. Our total members deposit last year, 2023, was 91 million, compared with 52 million in the year 2022. So almost 100% growth in terms of members' savings. Wow. In fact, the regulator questioned, how? Our target for year 2024 is to increase the saving rate to 100%. And that will see us approaching $250 million worthy of the Sacco. In the next 3-4 years, we want to be among the tier 1 SACCOs in the country, Barosi. Tier 1. And we're talking about billions here. Can we be able to achieve it? Yes. When we start in the year 2018, we formulated what is known as the 10-year business plan. And every single year when we meet, are we on that target of the 10-year business plan? The answer is yes. And so, by me saying in the next 3 years, we'll be in tier 1 SACCOs in the country, can we be able to achieve it? Yes. And that can only be achieved if all of us, we buy in that idea that we can be tier 1 SACCO. Our share capital. We call ourselves a boutique SACCO because of the requirements. Each member, for you to be classified as a member, you need to have 100,000. That's not an ordinary amount of money. That's a lot of money. So our share capital also continued to grow. In the year 2023 or rather, our share capital was 58 million Kenyan shillings, compared with 32 million Kenyan shillings. Remember, when you have achieved your 100,000 Kenyan shillings in terms of the share capital, you do not have to buy more shares. If you so wish, you can continue buying shares. And that is why we have not hit that 100 million. But our target was to hit 50 million. And we surpassed that to 58 million, including the savings, which was more than 90 million. So thank you very much again, members. What's our target for the year 2024? The treasurer will mention again, our target for 2024 is to go past 100 million share capital. Remember, we are talking about two things here. We're talking about savings, members' deposit, and share capital. We want to go past 100 million for us to hit that tier 1 SACCO in the country in the next 3 years. Members' loans. As of the year 2023 December, our loan book was 67 million compared with 48 million in the year 2022. Now again, when we had a meeting with the regulator, let me tell you something. You know, Barosi, you can close your ears, you're not listening, and director. I always used to think that when you're dealing with the government officers, they are doing tick boxes. They're doing the tick boxes. But that's not the case with SASRA. That's not the case. I think the treasurer can tell you how many meetings we have had in the last 1 month. Scrutinizing figure by figure. Ensuring that if we are saying that 100 million, that's what we have, do we have it? They actually ask for the bank statement. They go line by line. And where there is doubt, they will call you for a meeting. It's not something that I knew. I thought it's just more of a tick box. But they are there to ensure that your savings is kept safe. Your savings, pesa yako yenye unafanya kazi hapa, iko sawa. So thank you guys. And I want to thank SASRA. You know, we are among the 3 diaspora SACCOs regulated by SASRA. Now some people may ask, who are these SASRA, by the way? SASRA is a body of the government that regulates major SACCOs in the country. And the major SACCOs are those that have got total assets more than 100 million. So we are the only 3 diaspora SACCOs. 2 of them, they are in the US, and we are the only one in Europe. So thank you very much to members. So back into our loan book. So our loan book increased to 67 million. But members, Kenyans are very smart, Palosi. You know what happened? We know what happened with the Kenyan shillings towards the end of last year. members took advantage. Wakalipa loans towards the end of last year. In fact, if the Kenyan shilling did not appreciate that much or depreciate that much, our loan book was more than 120 million. But majority of the members took advantage of the exchange rate and repaid off the loan quickly, which is good, isn't it? Remember, the logo of the society is flourishing together. You have joined the society so that you can save and do what? Borrow and invest. We are one of the few SACCOs which are very liquid. You can even call SASRA. They will tell you too much liquid. Where are you taking this money? You members, you need to start borrowing more. Our interest rate is the lowest in the industry. 12% reducing. In fact, the interest rate comes to around 7.5%. You wouldn't find even in the UK here. I was illustrating somebody to an interest rate in the UK when they say 4%. And I told her, now look onto how much you'll end up paying and work out the effective interest rate is more than 10%. Our interest rate, the effective rate is below 7.5%. There is money, you need to come and borrow and invest in your country. In fact, you can also invest in the UK here. If you want to invest in the UK here, or in the US, or in Australia, where you are, you can do so. Quite recently, we gave loans to a member in Australia, and they bought a house. We gave a loan to members in the UK here, they have invested. So you can invest wherever you are. Your money is there, come for it. The board has introduced a new product, which we call buy back the loan. So the loan that you secured with Anthony, I hope you're not listening. The loan you have secured with Kenya commercial banks, which are charging an interest rate of about 18%, 20%. You can come, approach the society, and we buy that loan, which you will pay a lower interest rate compared with what you are paying currently in the commercial banks. We have introduced that product, and we'll be hearing more about it later on by Simon. We've also introduced in terms of penalties. Now, the idea is that to ensure that members, when they are borrowed, they pay on a particular day. You will be given what's known as a payment plan. If you're supposed to pay on 15th, you pay on 15th. If you go past 15th, that is the money we are losing. And so we introduced the penalties for those who take some time to pay. Disposal of properties. The society, one of the main objectives of a society is to mobilize savings and afford credit to our members. And so last year, our disposal of property was very minimal because we want to focus our core objective on ensuring that indeed we are mobilizing savings and we're also giving credit. So compared with the previous year, where we had the net income from disposal of property of 12 million, this year we only made 5 million. Well, you might say, well, from 12 to 5, that was deliberate because that's a requirement. Remember, being regulated by SASRA, the maximum you can invest in property and land is 10%. In fact, zero. They don't want you to invest. They want you to focus on ensuring members are putting money into the savings and they are taking loans. Nothing to do with the properties. And that is why we have Stock Investment PLC. So we have Stock Investment PLC that takes account of all investments of properties and land. In terms of the interest and dividend distribution, the SACCO continues to charge a lower interest rate compared with its peers and commercial banks. This is in line with our core mission to extend credit and product at a very competitive rates. The average lending interest rate is 16%. That's the average lending rate in Kenya, 16%. While the SACCO is lending at 12%. We encourage members to take advantage of lower interest rate, borrow, and invest. In doing so, we will flourish together. The SACCO has a regular dividend policy. Regular, in other words, we want to ensure that every year you get dividends and you also get savings on your deposits. The board is proposing an interest of 8.2% on savings and 8% dividend for last year save shares. When we compare that from the previous year, we had 8% dividend and 7.5% savings. But this year, we've gone slightly above, 8.2% and 8% on dividends. Now, someone may say, well, why don't you give 15%? Why don't you give 20%? The question is that sustainable? Remember, if we charge a very high interest rate, that's when we can give a high interest rate. But because we try as much as possible to charge lower interest rate, and we also ensure that we compensate the depositors by also giving them interest on their deposits. Members' engagement. Just before I go to members' engagement, to encourage members using various saving products, the board also proposes to revise our fixed deposit interest rate to 11%. So there is a difference. We have various products, including fixed deposits. So if you have those millions and you want to fix for 1 year or 2 years, talk to the team and we'll fix your money at 11% interest, which was around 8% last year, 8%. Now we have increased that to 11% per year. In terms of members' engagement, we brought ourselves for being unique. Barosi. We want to ensure that over the 12 months, it's not only once we meet our members. We meet our members on quarterly basis. And there are two reasons as to why we do so. One is to make sure that we update you on how we have performed in the last 3 months, in the last 6 months, and be able to hear some of the questions and suggestions that members you have. So we want to ensure that we continue that trajectory, that we meet you members on quarterly basis. So whenever we have regional meetings, we meet the UK, the US separately, Canada separately, Australia separately because of the time zones. We want to ensure that you attend those meetings because that's when you can be able to pose a question, hear what we have performed so far, and of course, get to know each other. Remember, when you're going to start borrowing, either you provide a security or you provide a guarantor. So if you don't attend those regional meetings, if you don't attend AGM, you might not get to know each other. So kindly, I would encourage you, again, this year, 2024, we have regional meetings that will take place over the next 12 months. Make sure you attend those regional meetings. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I would like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation to the members, customers, and all our stakeholders who continue to trust and have confidence in the face of ongoing market uncertainties. My appreciation goes to my esteemed colleagues on the board for their perspective, insight, and counsel which truly has helped the society to grow in bounds, while paving ways for further growth and success. I am positive with the current management, with the current membership, that this society will be among the tier 1 in the next 4 years. Dear members, we have a solid year. The outlook is positive. Now let me repeat that. And I'm sure Balozi will want to hear that. And Director. The outlook of our Kenyan economy is what? No. You know, I work in various industries. In one of the industries in academia, I like when people respond to me. The outlook of the Kenyan market is what? Positive. I didn't say it. The outlook of the Kenyan market is what? Positive. And if there is somewhere where to invest, is our country. I am not saying we should not invest in the UK. No. In the previous meeting that I had with the chairman of Nairobi Stock Exchange, Kipruno, he told me more than 50% of the investors in Nairobi Stock Exchange are who? Foreigners. Did you hear that, Palosi? More than 50% of investors in Nairobi Stock Exchange are foreigners. So they have seen something. And why not you? Take advantage. The outlook of our country is positive. Our SACCO is well positioned to continue to flourish now and into the future. On behalf of the board, we thank you for the trust you have placed on us and the opportunity to serve you in this capacity and our SACCO as directors, and look forward to another successful year, 2024. I'll leave you with the wisdom of American businesswoman, investor, Warren Buffett. He said, do not save what is left after spending, but rather spend what is left after saving. So don't say anything that is left after I have taken no account of all my expenses is what I'm going to save. Rather, set aside and say, where the Sacco demands 10,000, minimum, remember, is minimum 10,000 Kenyan shillings every month. The 10,000, if you want to say 20,000 or 30,000 aside, then pay your mortgages, then pay your water bills, everything else. But you have already set aside your 20,000 every single month. God bless you, and God bless Stoke UK Diaspora Sacco.
Thank you, Chairman. All protocols observed. Dear members, hamjambo. I remember my promises the last time we had an AGM here. And I know that I told you when I come again next time, I come with good news. So I have come with good news, but before I reach the good news, let me tell you how it was in 2023. The Kenyan economy, for those who have followed it from 2022 to 2023, has become stronger in 2023 despite the challenges. So when you look past the challenges and look at other issues, especially GDP, the Kenyan economy grew from where we were in 2022, 4.8 to 5% in 2023. This is attributed to a strong rebound in the agricultural sector and other sectors, and also because of favorable weather conditions. Exports, as you have also been told, and remittances also sustained a resilient. And the economy, even so, still faces several challenges, but there are all strategies to sustain and maintain the growth momentum. So, what is happening in 2024 then? Looking at the global economic perspectives and what has been looked into 2024, the economy is expected to grow. This is a report by the World Bank. So the World Bank expects the Kenyan economy to grow between 5% and 5.4%. That is a good leap from where we were in 2023. This is supported by continued recovery of business activities, expected rebound also continued in agricultural sector, tourism, and other areas of operation, performances improving in the services sector, driven by growth in information and technology, especially for those who follow the recent economic situations when it comes to information. We are moving to AI. And that's why, as a Sacco, having gone through 7 years with the system that we have used, we considered also that we don't want to be left behind. We have to move with technology, and that's why we are coming up with that new system. We expect the central bank to maintain its tight monetary policies in the short term to anchor to reduce the challenges posed by inflation, and also to mitigate the depreciation of the Kenyan shilling. We have seen that trend move from the last, I think, 1 month now, when the exchange rate was very high. It's coming down. I know when you look at it from the sending perspective, it is good when the exchange rate goes to 200, 300, it's good. But from a Sacco point of view, and I as a treasurer, I would like the exchange rate to stabilize, because the money that we have in Kenya, especially given that as Sacco we are more liquid, if the exchange rate depreciates, then our value of the Kenyan shilling in Kenya becomes less. Further, the SACCO will seek approval from our regulator to introduce new facilities as we look towards putting more effort on our core business, that is advancing loans to our members. How have we done? Chair has already said this. This is where we were, 2020. Our total assets was 14 million. That's in 2020. This is 2023 report. Our total assets stands at 183 million. $182 million. You can imagine. What was our target? Our target was not 182 million. It was 200 million. So that means we have slightly missed our target. And for this reason, when we come here to the next AGM, I want to report in terms of $250 million and above. We need to start talking billions, members. Can you hear me? Yeah. Billions. Next AGM, we want to start saying our SACCO asset value is $250 million and above. That's my target. That's the target of the board. Members' deposits. 2020, we had 4 million. This year, 2023, we have 92 million member deposits in the year 2023 alone. 92 million. And are you seeing the trend? Total assets, what did we say? 182 million, and member deposits 92 million. Is a big leap from where we have come from. Let's look at loans. 2020, we gave out 1 million. 2023, we did 68 million. That's to you members, 68 million. Share capital, between the 3 years, we were 9 million. We are now talking about 59 million. What's our target? We are targeting 100. And I know we can do it. I have looked at the finances. It looks like we have now strengthened our roots. We have improved our strategies. We have enough capacity to do that. And we will do it. Total revenues. Can you imagine 2020, when we had this AGM in 2020, we had 108 Kenya shillings. 108 Kenya shillings. Not 108,000 Kenya shillings. Just that. But guess where we are now? We made a revenue in 2023 alone of 17 million. That's revenue. Now, interest income. This is income, interest coming from loans that we have disbursed to members. We had 0 in 2020. But as we speak, the year 2023, we had 14 million. Shortly after this, I'm going to share a screen to tell you what we are targeting next year. So in short, members, our total assets grew by 64%. Our member deposits also grew by 76%. And that brings me to what the chair has already expressed, that I would have wished to come to this AGM and say, we are giving you 12% interest and 12% dividends. I can do that based on what we have. But I don't want to come the following year and tell you now it's going to be 6. I want to be consistent. I would rather give you 8 now and 8 and maybe 9 and 10 than give you 12 now and 0 next year. So that's what we want to build, consistency. Key ratios. Our core capital to our total asset ratio, we have maintained close to where we were in 2022, 39% in 2022, we are 38% in 2023. This is above the statutory minimum, which is 8%, quite high. The outlook. As Chair said, I want just to echo those words. The board has a positive view of the year ahead. We are committed to operational excellence and sustainable business practices. With the positive market and the industry projections, we are aligning our operations to take advantage of the opportunities that the industry presents. Later, if I'm given a chance, I will bring to you what areas that we are trying to move into, which we have shared previously in many AGMs, but I will bring it again. My message to you members is to encourage you to continue as you have been, to save more, to patronize our products and borrow wisely with the interest of flourishing together. That will always be our rallying call. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm here representing the chairman of the supervisory committee, Robert Kojwang, and I am going to read the report that he has prepared from the committee. Members, I welcome you to this year's AGM. It has been a privilege to have served you as per the mandate you gave us of safeguarding your funds by ensuring that proper policies are in place and the internal control system of our Sacco is adequate. We urge the board to continue listening to members' grievances and provide solutions within the policy guidelines. As spelled out in our bylaws, section 23.5, our mandate is to check the effectiveness of the society's internal control system. I would like to report to this AGM that this society has put in place measures and controls that will safeguard your investment. We endeavor to be your watchdog to the society's transactions and operations. The board also continue to evaluate and act accordingly to the emerging threats and proactively responded to them. Allow me to highlight a few issues. Sacco performance 2023. All factors considered, we wish to thank our members and the board for the performance achieved in 2023. Despite the financial market disruptions by the interest rates rising during the year, all that patronized our savings and credit products, we thank you. Loan products. The financial sector seems to be changing gradually, and we request the board and management to embrace product innovation through new loan product development for our members. In addition, the board should ensure alignment of charges with the Sacco industry requirements. System upgrade. Much appreciation to the board for being proactive in addressing member requests and needs for the shortcomings of the operating system. The recently launched operating system called Dynamics 365 Business Central will greatly enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of the operations, including the members of our committee. Notably, the Supervisory Committee appreciates management for supporting the board in implementing the new system. Conclusion. We will continue to receive feedback from all members on their experiences while patronizing the Sacco products and services. We prioritize your feedback to improve your experience with the Sacco, and we encourage all members to share their feedback and their experiences with us. Moving forward, we would like to assure members that with the new system in place, we will be able to check all the transactions of the Sacco and the society's operations to ensure that they are carried out according to the policies, stipulation, and on grounds of governance. We endeavor to be a watchdog on the Sacco's operations. We wish all of you, dear members, board members and staff, a fruitful year in 2024. Be safe and God bless you all. From Robert Kojwang, the Supervisory Committee Chairman.
Thank you very much, Edna, for that brief report from the Supervisory Committee. Every quarter that we submit our SASRA reports, they need also to provide their report on how each quarter the society has performed. So it's not only just annual report they present, but they also submit the quarterly reports.